Good Thursday morning. It is still a first alert weather day as we continue to deal with blizzard-like conditions up in the Cascades. Could have a couple inches of snow now for Ellensburg. We've rolled those totals back just a little bit, and then high winds continuing across the map for today. Looks like they'll ramp back up once again as we head into Saturday. Current wind gusts, we're seeing peak gust around 60 miles per hour for Salinas Pass, so as advertised there, around 45 miles per hour for the lower Columbia Basin, 40 miles per hour for Snoqualmie Pass. Thankfully, things have transitioned, at least for the moment, to rain up in the Cascades and for the Blues, but it's going to transition back to snow pretty quickly. You see, we do have some customers without power right now, 2,000 in Kittitas County, just 100 in Walla Walla. Definitely some higher totals over on the west side of the state. It is mild out there this morning, 55s for Tri-Cities and Hermiston, 53 for Yakima. And you see the steady snowfall now transitioning as we speak, transitioning back to snow up in the Cascades. Here's your umbrella cast for this Thursday for the Tri-Cities. Steady chances of rain all throughout the day. So for today, it's going to end up being a windy day out there, and I'll have a lot more to say about the winds coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, a Pasco man will spend 2 decades in prison after a federal case involving a teen girl and online contact with other minors. What court documents are saying he admitted to and how investigators say Snapchat was used to target the girls. We have the details coming up. Plus, who should run Franklin County's firearms range? That's now up for debate. This morning, we'll break down the proposal under consideration and the objections from law enforcement. And Washington State Patrol is stepping up enforcement aimed at keeping highways safe. Coming up, white troopers are focusing on commercial trucks during special patrols and the common violations that they're watching for out on the roadways. Those details on these stories and more coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest, on your side.
Good Thursday morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us. Joining us here for Good Morning Northwest, I'm Jade Elliott, and we start this morning with a crime alert out of Pasco. It's where a man has been sentenced to 20 years in prison for sexually assaulting a teen girl, impregnating her, and luring other teens to have sex with him through Snapchat. 29-year-old Manuel Rodriguez accepted a guilty plea of online enticement of a minor and attempted production of child pornography. Investigators with the Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force had been investigating Rodriguez since 2023 after a teen girl told her school counselor that he had assaulted her and that she was pregnant. Rodriguez was also luring teens through Snapchat, asking for sexual pictures and videos, and trying to meet up with them. You can go to applevalleynewsnow.com for more on this case and the task force and their work. 5:03 now, following up this morning as Washington State Patrol Trooper Sarah Clayson now has a new trial date. It's set for September, 1 year after she was formally charged with suspected DUI vehicular homicide. Now, Clayson was off duty last March when officials say she drove drunk, hitting and killing a young motorcyclist in Richland. She was set to have a hearing this week, but it was pushed back, just as her lawyer, Scott Johnson, told Apple Valley News Now he expected that it would be. Now, court records show her omnibus hearing will be August 12th with her pretrial conference September 10th. The jury trial will then follow on September 28th. Johnson previously told Apple Valley News Now that pushing back court dates is normal for this kind of case. He also said the average time from charge to a trial is at least a year, often longer. So if this case goes to trial, and it's currently scheduled to in September, that would mark roughly 1 year since those charges. Be sure to stay with Apple Valley News Now as we continue to follow the case. 5:04 and taking you to Franklin County now, where some changes could soon be happening in regards to who controls the county's firearms training range. Commissioners are considering a resolution that would move management of the facility from the Sheriff's Office to the Department of Corrections. Sheriff Jim Raymond opposes the move, saying the range is critical for keeping deputies trained and state qualified. Raymond denies Corrections access to the range because he says the department is not a law enforcement agency.
It's important because we have to register with the state qualifications, show trainings, who the cadres are or who the instructors are, and keep them all certified and, change with the laws as they change and readjust.
Now, under the proposed resolution, corrections would take over management and maintenance of the facility. Department of Corrections Chief Kylan Harmon says that his staff needs firearm training to transport offenders, but Sheriff Raymond says he will vigorously oppose any change to be sure that it stays in the county. So be sure to stay with Good Morning Northwest. Coming up in our 6 o'clock hour, our Apple Valley News Now's Dan Hansen will have a full report on this growing debate. 5:05, turning now to state legislature this morning, where lawmakers have passed a controversial millionaires tax after a lengthy debate at the state capitol. Now, the measure would create a 9.9% tax on household income above $1 million a year. Lawmakers say the tax would apply to a small share of high-earning households and could generate billions of dollars in revenue for the state. Supporters say the money could help fund programs for working families and address budget shortfalls. Opponents argue that the tax could hurt the state's business climate and may face legal challenges. This bill now heads back to the Senate before it can go to the governor's desk. Former Starbucks chief executive Howard Schultz said in a LinkedIn post that he and his wife are moving from Seattle to Florida after more than 4 decades in the city due to the tax. Meanwhile, another bill coming out of the state legislature sparking pushback from law enforcement. Kittitas County Sheriff now joining sheriffs across Washington in urging the governor to veto parts of a new bill passed by lawmakers. Sheriff Clay Myers said the Washington State Sheriff's Association is asking Governor Bob Ferguson to veto sections of Senate Bill 5974. Myers says those parts of the bill would shift authority to remove an elected sheriff from voters to a state certification process. Supporters of the veto say elected sheriffs should remain directly accountable to the people who elect them. The bill has passed the legislature and now awaits final action from the governor. And Washington State Patrol is out on patrols focused on commercial vehicles. It's all part of an effort to reduce serious crashes on Washington highways. Now, during these patrols, troopers look for violations like speeding, distracted driving, improper lane usage, and drivers following too closely. And they're conducting inspections to make sure that these commercial trucks are properly maintained. Checking things like tires, lighting, load security, all to make sure that these vehicles are safe to operate.
With commercial vehicles, they're a lot bigger vehicles. There's a lot more brakes involved, a lot more tires involved, and it's a lot, safety is a lot more priority. They say, you know, who with the most lug nuts wins in a collision. So we want to prevent the collisions.
Troopers say the drivers can also help prevent crashes by avoiding distraction, giving trucks plenty of space, and never lingering in a truck's blind spot. The patrols are expected to continue across the state throughout the year as a part of WSP's ongoing effort to improve road safety. 5:07, still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Coming up, the latest on the rising tensions in the Middle East, as a dramatic new video shows oil tankers on fire in the Persian Gulf, with global leaders tapping emergency reserves to calm markets. Coming up, we're going to break down how leaders are responding this morning and what officials say about the level of danger here at home. And giving you a live look outside, this one from our Dust Devils camera in Pasco. When we come back, checking in with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth. He'll have a look at your first alert forecast.
Truck Month only happens once a year.
So it's gotta be big.
Like available Pro Power on board big.
Protect it with the Ford Security Package big.
There's only one Ford Truck Month.
Deal's so good, we need a bigger door big.
ACE's Yard RX program prescribes the best lawn care specific to your yard's needs, delivered every season. Because when you want greener grass, less weeds, and fewer bugs, you can get a personalized prescription delivered free from the helpful folks at ACE. Subscribe now and save 20% on everything you need all year. From our store to your front door, with service so good it's guaranteed.
ACE is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
The White Card, a powerful resource for former Hanford and DOE employees. If you worked in the area and have come down with cancer, lung disease, Parkinson's, or renal failure, you may be eligible for financial compensation and healthcare services. A simple phone call can get the process started. Atomic Home Health. Don't wait. Call today.
Slow down, look around, and let your creative side lead the way. Experience small town life in Ellensburg, Washington. From crafted coffee and inspiring Main Street stays, to inventive cuisine, local wine, craft beer, locally curated shops, outdoor art, galleries, and the artists who shape this community. Get inspired and plan your creative escape with the Love Local Passport, a curated guide to Ellensburg's best. Download the Passport to plan your stay where creativity lives everywhere at myellensburg.com.
Save now with Buy Mart's latest savings book. Watch for it in your mailbox or pick one up in store today. 7-Up brand 2 liters are 2 for $4. Hampton Farms 5-pound in-shell peanuts are $6.99. Gallon annuals or perennials are $6.99 each. Save $3 on 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic EP oil. Plus find Savory Prime's 32-ounce chicken jerky for dogs for $14.99. Find even more savings in store with our extra member discounts only at Buy Mart.
Truck Month only happens once a year.
So it's gotta be big.
Like available Pro Power on board big.
Protect it with the Ford Security Package big.
There's only one Ford Truck Month.
Deal's so good, we need a bigger door big.
Let's do this thing.
It's Hollywood's biggest night, the Oscars.
Oh boy, this is just incredible.
With can't-miss performances from Sinners and K-pop Demon Hunters.
This is a dream come true.
The Oscars, live Sunday on ABC and Hulu.
Kraken Avalanche, tonight at 7 on Apple Valley News Now.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Let's go ahead and update you on what our passes look like for this morning. And it did transition to rain overnight. We're transitioning back to snow as we speak, but that transition back to rain definitely helped out with pass conditions as Snoqualmie Pass was closed yesterday. Now it is reopened, but Traction Tires still advised for Stevens Pass, Blewett Pass, and for White Pass. And we take you over to the Blues where there are still those chain requirements in place for Oregon 204, milepost 10 to 39. That's a lot of that stretch of highway from Adena to Elgin. And so you can find more about those passes online at tripcheck.com. And for the Washington passes, that would be at wsdot.com. Okay, high avalanche danger continuing for today for, I'd say, about 75% of the forecast zones that the Northwest Avalanche Center forecast for. And then for tomorrow, it looks like that's mainly going to shrink down to the east-south slopes. And again, that would still be level 4 out of 5, and a lot of considerable danger still out there for tomorrow as well. A big factor with that avalanche danger and a big factor into the blizzard conditions would be the wind gusts. For today, still those peak gusts across the map anywhere between 30 to 50 miles per hour, and we could have a little resurgence in winds for Saturday. Now, I think at this point, the worst is going to be in the rearview mirror, but still some of those gusts up around 50 miles per hour in Ellensburg, and some of those gusts between 30 to 35 miles per hour in the Cascades. So I'm not thinking it's going to be as blizzard-like on Saturday. We'll keep a close eye on things. Of course, we keep telling people to stay off the passes if you can help it, but if you must travel over our passes, have all these things in your winter safety kit. This list posted online, applevalley.newsnow.com. We'll have a lot more to say about the snow up in the mountains coming up in a few minutes.
Josh, thanks so much. 5:13 now into the latest developments on the war in Iran. Overnight, dramatic new video showing oil tankers engulfed in flames in the Persian Gulf, forcing operations to pause and sending prices over $100 a barrel. Officials say Iran is behind the attacks, and emergency oil reserves are being released both here in the U.S. and by international partners. This morning, we turn to ABC's Marcus Moore for the latest from the Doha.
Dramatic video overnight shows 2 oil tankers on fire in the Persian Gulf, forcing Iraq to suspend oil operations. Local officials blaming Iran. Flames engulfing one of the tankers. At least 1 person was reportedly killed and dozens more rescued. Iran now escalating attacks on oil infrastructure across the Gulf. Video shows multiple oil silos on fire. And in Bahrain, officials blame Iran for attacking this oil facility. Prices rising overnight, oil now topping $100 per barrel. President Trump says the U.S. will now release 172 million barrels of oil from the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve. And an international coalition plans to release another 400 million barrels from emergency supplies. Experts say that could help alleviate short-term concerns about prices.
This is the largest ever release of strategic stocks. So I think today's release with international energy allies was very helpful in signaling to the world that there is a united response.
Reuters reports Iran has deployed roughly a dozen mines in the Strait of Hormuz. An Iranian official is also now threatening to fire underwater missiles.
We've knocked out all of their boats. They have some missiles, but not very many. I think we're in very good shape. The main thing is we have to win this.
Earlier in the day, President Trump saying there's, quote, practically nothing left for the U.S. to target in Iran, adding, quote, anytime I want it to end, it will end. Trump referring to the conflict as both a war and, quote, a little excursion. Meanwhile, a significant escalation in Lebanon, where Israel is targeting Hezbollah fighters backed by Iran. More than 600 people have reportedly been killed in the latest offensive.
Now, following the overnight attacks in the Persian Gulf, a new alert is raising questions closer to home. An FBI memo warns that Iran could attempt a seaborne drone attack targeting California, but officials emphasize there's no evidence of an immediate threat. Multiple federal and state agencies say the memo is precautionary, and California leaders confirmed the state is prepared for any emergency while no specific danger has been identified. Of course, be sure to stay with Good Morning Northwest as we continue to follow the latest developments. Still ahead here this morning, we're going to give you a live look outside. This one from our dust levels camera in Pasco as we get ready to check in with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth and a look at your full first alert forecast, not only what you can expect as you walk out the door here today, but if you're traveling through the state.
Life moves fast when you're raising children. With Washington's Get Prepaid Tuition Plan, you can be prepared for their next big step after high school. Start saving today at 529.wa.gov.
Built for early mornings, long days, and whatever comes next. The Chevy Silverado is the truck that gets it done, day after day. Right now, get supplier pricing for all. Plus, stack on available incentives and rebates to save even more. Lease a new Silverado for just $417 a month. And when you buy with McCurley, it's easy, honest, and hassle-free from start to finish. McCurley Chevrolet, your way home.
Before every celebration, there's a moment of anticipation, of energy, of excitement, of possibility. Macy's is here for all of it. Celebrating a special year of 100 parades, 50 fireworks, and all of life's moments.
These days, the world is moving faster than ever, but I like to say, not so fast when it comes to a progressive disease like chronic kidney disease. Jardiance is a little pill proven to slow the progression of CKD and reduce the risk of kidney failure, which can lead to dialysis.
Serious side effects include increased ketones in blood or urine and infection between and around the anus and genitals. Both may be fatal. Severe allergic reactions, dehydration, urinary tract or genital yeast infections in men and women, and low blood sugar. Stop taking and tell your doctor right away if you have nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, tiredness, rash, swelling, trouble breathing or swallowing. Tell your doctor about lightheadedness, weakness, fever, pain, tenderness, redness, or swelling between the anus and genitals. You may have increased risk for lower limb loss. Call your doctor right away if you have new pain or tenderness, sores, ulcers, or infection in your legs or feet.
Find the goodness of slow by saying, not so fast, CKD. Ask your doctor about Jardiance.
Life moves fast when you're raising children. With Washington's Get Prepaid Tuition Plan, you can be prepared for their next big step after high school. Start saving today at 529.wa.gov.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Yes, it is still obviously a first alert weather day out there as we have another day of blizzard conditions to go in the Cascades. Snow levels starting to drop once again as that boundary moved back down to our south as a cold front. So that brings in colder air, snow levels dropping, and you see all these low pressure centers dotting the map. Those indicate all the rounds of snow that are still yet to come. So let's put this into motion with Futurecast radar. Over the next 48 hours, you'll notice consistent snowfall for both mountain ranges throughout the course of today, and even some light rainfall, and at times more than light rainfall for lower elevations. Now into tomorrow morning, Futurecast being very bullish on some of these snow chances in the Yakima Valley. I'm not too keen on that idea. I do think we could have some accumulating snow in the Kittitas Valley, but look, Friday is just going to be a mess out there. If you can keep it indoors on Friday, I would highly recommend that. It would be good napping weather to recharge after a long week of work. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at some of those snowfall totals from this morning through 5 in the morning on Sunday. I mean, still just ridiculous amounts of snowfall still to come for the Cascades. We take you down to the Kittitas Valley. We've rolled some of these numbers back, still thinking around 2 inches of snow for Ellensburg, 7 inches of snow for Cle Elum. Yakima Valley, not going to see much at all in terms of accumulating snowfall. And then for the Blues, half a foot of snow for Cabbage Hill, and then a lot more than that for Oregon 204 at Tollgate. So again, if you can stay off for passes, that would be the best option. By the way, here's some of the rainfall totals we are expecting. Just wanted to lay this out there. Decent totals for all of us, especially for the foothills where we could get between 1.5 inches to 2 inches of rainfall. That'll be very beneficial stuff. Okay, as we head into next week, look at this. In the Tri-Cities, ending up around 70 degrees, and that is going to coincide with another storm system. Snow levels going way up, so we're thinking that for this round, 5 a.m. on Sunday to 5 a.m. next Thursday, could have around 2 inches of rainfall up in the mountains. Over that fresh snowpack, we could see some excess runoff. Maybe some river flooding. It's still really early in the ball game, but it's definitely something that's on our radar. So here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Windy today, rain likely tomorrow, then eyeballing a big warm-up for next week like we were just talking about. In Yakima, some snow will be possible tomorrow, but temperatures will be a limiting factor for accumulations. In Ellensburg, maybe picking up a couple inches of snow through 5 p.m. on Friday. After that, it's probably just going to be rainfall. And then for Hermiston, gust up around 45 miles per hour today, rain likely tomorrow, then mostly dry this weekend. And finally, for Walla Walla, maybe a little bit of snow mixing in for Saturday, but impactful accumulations are not expected.
All right, 521, and check this out. Some future broadcasters got a little behind the scenes look at how the news and weather is done.
They sure did, yeah. Leona Libby Middle School broadcast students stopped by Apple Valley News Now yesterday to learn about the industry and sharpen their skills in front of the camera.
Take a look. The class of 8th graders from West Richland spent the day with our news production and creative services team. They broke into small groups to learn interviewing skills, photography, social media, anchoring, and forecasting.
That's right. I spent some time with the students on the green screen showing them how we build a forecast and what goes into broadcast meteorology. At the end of the day, all the students participated in breaking news scenarios and performed for the class.
I love it. I love it so much. Did you have fun?
It was so much fun. Those kids were hilarious and they really got into it.
Yeah.
And willing to learn. So just an awesome experience all the way around.
Yes, I love it so much. So a big thank you, of course, to their teacher and the school district for letting us be a part of their big day, helping them learn all about our industry.
Yeah.
Fun. Love it. All right, so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Antiques, snakes, and robots. Oh my. This morning, we are taking a look at how a sleepy owl, a dashboard python, nope, hard pass, and a suitcase robot made their way into some unexpected spots. The unusual findings coming up in this morning's Take a Look at This after the break.
More Furniture Sleep Savings Event, designed to help you sleep better with comfort, style, and value. The Jamestown Panel Bed at $399. The Malibu Panel Bed at $399. And Lily mattresses up to 50% off. And the lowest sofa at $399. Enjoy 72 months, no interest financing on mattresses, and our free white glove delivery, where every detail is handled with care. Visit a More Furniture store near you and experience the difference. Or visit us online at morefurniture.com.
At the Pacific Campus, our medical care for seniors is built with intention. We take time, we listen, we create personalized plans designed for strength, clarity, and longevity. And because your care is inside the PC, wellness isn't separate from your healthcare. It's part of it. Membership isn't required, but many choose it to stay active and connected. Call, text, or stop by. We're always here for you. Your fourth quarter matters. Let's play it strong.
When I made my Botox cosmetic appointment,
I was nervous that I might look overdone.
I wanted results that looked like me.
What was important to me was that I still look like me, just with fewer lines.
I'm happy with my results. So happy that my results are natural looking. Booking a consultation, it's a way to take time for you.
Botox Cosmetic effects may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow, eyelid drooping, or swelling. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, and medications including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
I'm the one and only Delphina.
I'm the one and only Olivia. And I'm the one and only Claire. And I got treated with the one and only Botox Cosmetic.
Find a licensed Botox Cosmetic specialist at BotoxCosmetic.com.
Welcome to Nob Hill Casino, your premier gaming destination. Experience the thrill of a Vegas-style casino featuring the friendliest dealers in town. Join our Players Club and unlock exclusive rewards every time you play. Challenge your skills at our 16-lane bowling alley. Unwind with a drink at our cozy bar, or enjoy breakfast, lunch, or dinner at the Last Frontier. The ultimate entertainment experience has something for everyone. Nob Hill Casino, where locals come to win.
Kraken Avalanche, tonight at 7 on Apple Valley News Now.
5:25. Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. In your entertainment headlines this morning, we're learning antiques aren't always what they seem, and sometimes the surprises come with feathers, fangs, or even mechanical joints.
That's right. This morning we take a look at a napping owl on a store shelf, a python hiding in a car dashboard, and a suitcase turned robot that would make anyone do a double take. So Jeremy Roth has it all in today's Take a Look at This.
Antiquing is all about quirky finds, and in New York, a state conservation officer made just that after shoppers spotted a live owl napping on an antique store's shelf. The sleepy screech owl was discovered on the shelf of the East Durham store, cozied up next to another bird of sorts, a chicken-shaped cookie jar. A Department of Conservation officer responded and collected the still snoozing owl and released it into some nearby woods. Ironically, just days earlier, the department had posted a challenge to followers to try to identify 10 different species of wild birds in the state for a chance to win prizes. No word on if this unique antique fine feathered find qualifies. Speaking of stuff found where it isn't supposed to be, firefighters in Florida encountered a slithery situation when they had to remove a large pet ball python that got trapped in the dashboard of a car. WFOR reports the owners had just finished buying pet food for the snake, named Richie, when they found it had fled into the dash, where it remained for some 8 hours until Coral Springs firefighters removed it, without the help, mind you, of their battalion chief, who says he's deathly afraid of snakes and instead opted to work the camera. Finally, wrapping up our Weird Finds Roundup is a taste of the top finds according to Unclaimed Baggage, the U.S.'s sole authorized reseller of lost luggage. They released their annual Found Report, and hinky highlights of left-behind luggage include a bionic knee, a meteorite, samurai swords, and a beekeeper's suit. But the top Weird Find spot went to this robot, which features fully articulated joints and, ironically, what appears to be the head of a suitcase. Sometimes these things just write themselves. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
I hated everything about that python story.
You're not a fan? Not a fan of the pythons?
No.
I've had one on me before. There's this picture. It used to be my headshot for a while, but
You're lucky to still be alive, sir.
It was me. I was at a reptile convention, and the snake handler, he gave me a Burmese python, and he was cool. He was just kind of vibing on me. He was a lot softer than I thought he was going to be.
Why were you at a reptile convention? Was this a work thing or a personal thing? Like, were you like, was it a Saturday and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do today. I'm going to go to a reptile convention.
It was a Saturday, but it was for a college course where I was doing some reporting, and that was my package for the weekend.
Okay, I'll give you a pass on that because it was work related.
It was cool. Maybe I would go in my free time as well. That look says it all.
Absolutely. I would burn my car.
Oh, no, not the whole car.
Snake included. Yep.
Snake included.
100%. Can't do it. Because there's more. When there's one, there's more. It's, you know,
if you see one snake, then that means there's probably another one that's close by.
Be.
Okay, that's some interesting logic. Yeah.
Logic, I don't know if we would use the word logic or not, but I'm not doing it.
It's interesting intuition.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
All right. So much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Richland is expanding, and city leaders are focusing on infrastructure and safety. Coming up, the projects aimed at improving roads, parks, and trails, and how officials plan to balance growth with everyone's needs who live there. We have those details coming up. Plus, business expansion is in focus at the Port of Moses Lake. What the port is doing to help business operate and grow, and how the support creates jobs and local opportunities. We have these stories and more coming up in your 5:30 half hour. But first, here's your Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, the impact of artificial intelligence on workers. A new study finds AI is making things more intense on the job. Workers who use AI tools to double their time spent on email and chat apps. And the time devoted to uninterrupted work fell by nearly 10%. New details about Apple's rumored foldable iPhone. Bloomberg is reporting that'll come with an iPad-style interface, a side-by-side layout designed to make multitasking easier. And it's expected to use Touch ID instead of Face ID to accommodate a thinner front panel. And finally, Microsoft is making a change to gaming on PCs starting next month. Company's full-screen Xbox experience is coming to all Windows 11 computers. The feature, called Xbox Mode, makes it easier to play games on a computer when using a game controller. Those are your Tech Bites. I'm Hannah Battah. Have a great day.
At Wayfair, delivery and setup can be as easy as, well, doing nothing.
That was fast.
Room of choice delivery and fast expert setup.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
I need an affordable car.
At Drive Time, you can compare deals and choose your own payment on every car.
I can compare cars and pick the deal that works for me. Boom! Lower! I'm in control, and it feels good.
This is a commercial. Go get your real deal at DriveTime.com.
Why does Special K have 10 grams of protein? Yep, that's why. Special K. And now, try Special K granola with protein and fiber.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest. On your side.
Good Thursday morning. Thanks for waking up with us. Joining us here for Good Morning Northwest, I'm Jade Elliott.
And I'm Josh Colbert.
Okay, we can't not talk about the wind.
Oh, you have to, because you can hear it outside the studio. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's wild. Overnight, you were saying it kind of lulls you to sleep.
Yes.
I lay there going, what am I going to wake up to? What is going to be in disarray?
So you're on the other end of the spectrum. It brings you anxiety. Yeah, I just think that kind of the ambient noise of it is calming. But I think I'm probably in the minority there. I think most people probably are kind of concerned.
Like, where's my trampoline going to be when I wake up?
Where's my trash can going to be? Where's my patio furniture going to be? Yeah, so that's why we always tell you to tie those things down if you can, or bring those inside, right?
So is that going to continue throughout today, the wind that we've been experiencing?
Yes, but it's not going to be as intense as what we saw last night. Mm-hmm. But still, we're still with a slew of things this morning. Let's go ahead and get into those big weather stories. Obviously, the big headline would be the blizzard conditions up in the Cascades, but lower elevation snow chances still there, especially for the Kittitas Valley, up to 2 inches through 5 p.m. on Friday. And then the high winds for today looks like another round is gearing up for Saturday as well. Okay, those current wind gusts, 44 miles per hour for the Tri-Cities, 53 for White Pass, 57 for Blewett Pass. So as advertised in those locations, you mix that in with the snow, we're seeing some pretty bad visibility. Here are the power outages by county. 2,000 for Kittitas County. We're at 100 for Whitman County. We'll continue to keep you posted on this throughout the course of the morning. We have now transitioned back to snow for the Cascades, so I have a feeling those past conditions are going to slip downhill pretty quickly. Here's your umbrella cast for this Thursday for the Yakima Valley. Pretty consistent rain chances all throughout the day, but really picking up as we head into the late evening. So for today, highs getting into the 40s and 50s. It will be quite windy out there. Once again, I'll have a lot more to say about said winds coming up in a few minutes.
Josh, thank you. We begin this half hour of news in Richland, where city leaders say several major projects and initiatives are planned for 2026 as the city continues focusing on infrastructure, transportation, and public safety. Apple Valley News Now's William Albert spoke with the city manager about what people living in Richland can expect.
The city of Richland is looking ahead as it continues to grow, with leaders focusing on improving infrastructure and meeting the needs of a rapidly expanding community. City Manager John Amundson says maintaining and upgrading city infrastructure remains a top priority as the city works to improve quality of life for residents.
So we're stabilizing the Riverfront Trail viewing platform near Columbia Point Marina and building a new playground at West Village Park in the Badger Mountain South area. Those are two quality of life amenities, one that needs a little bit of assistance because shoreline erosion, and another is in a new growing area.
Amundson says another major priority for the city is moving forward with the long-anticipated Downtown Loop project.
And we'll create a one-way couplet on George Washington Way and Jadwin from George and Jadwin all the way up to Simons. And we're currently in the construction easement phase of the project and the design and engineering. We hope to go to bid and start of construction later this year.
Amundson says Richland officials are exploring the use of automated speed cameras after hearing concerns from residents about excessive speeding along some major roadways.
We've been getting a lot of feedback from residents in regards to speeding on some of our major corridors, Keene, Dupertail, Stevens, a number of areas where really it's above and beyond what you would consider safe.
Amundson says the city's roughly $336 million budget spread across its general fund and utility funds is designed to balance major investments while remaining physically responsible.
We balance that against the revenues that we have, whether it be through property tax or sales tax or fees that are charged for different services. Also trying to keep those as low as we possibly can while creating that sense of community and a place where people want to live and grow their families.
City leaders say these efforts are a part of a broader effort to keep up with growth while improving safety, transportation, and quality of life for Richland residents. In Richland, William Albert, Apple Valley News Now.
And city officials say several of these projects are expected to move forward later this year as design work continues and funding becomes available. And it's not just Richland preparing for growth. Leaders at the Port of Moses Lake say supporting business expansion is also a key part of their mission as new companies continue moving into the region. Port officials say they help attract and grow businesses by providing infrastructure like land, rail access, power, and wastewater capacity. Companies including Group 14 and Sila are already operating in the port's industrial areas. As those businesses expand, port leaders say they work to make sure that utilities, land, and transportation access can keep up.
So as they grow and expand, they're asking for more capacity on the wastewater. So we'll work with them to figure out how much they need and how we need to change our system.
Port officials say working closely with tenants helps ensure companies already in Moses Lake have the support they need to expand operations while still bringing in more jobs and economic growth to the region. 5:38, still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Toppenish girls wrestling team on a historic run. Coming up, how they secured 5 straight state championships and what sets this program apart from the rest. We're talking sports after the break.
This newscast sponsored by Multicare Yakima Memorial Hospital. Excellence you can trust.
Let's do this thing.
It's Hollywood's biggest night, the Oscars.
Oh boy, this is just incredible.
With can't-miss performances from Sinners and K-pop Demon Hunters.
This is a dream come true.
The Oscars, live Sunday on ABC and Hulu.
Chevy trucks are as capable and dependable as the Chevy people who drive them. You probably know one. Your sister. Your buddy. The ones who always show up. They all have that little extra something. And maybe you got it too.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Right now, get over $7,300 total value on this 2026 Chevy Silverado. Plus, Costco Executive members can get a $12.50 members-only incentive.
To see if you qualify for Hanford worker compensation, please call Smart Law for a free consultation at 509-735-5555. Workers and the families of deceased workers who worked at the Hanford site are now eligible for compensation for diseases and illnesses, including neurological, respiratory and heart conditions, cancers, and beryllium-related disorders. This may be in addition to compensation already being received. Call Smart Law at 509-735-5555 for Hanford worker compensation. Smart Law, smart choice.
In Tri-Cities Real Estate, one group stands above the rest. One group consistently ranks in the top 20% of the region's real estate agents. One group puts a full team of professionals backing your every move to get the best deal at every step. And one group with an award-winning team to give you more insights and help you make more educated decisions. So if you're ready to make your next move with certainty, there's really only one group for you.
Join us April 18th for the annual Run the River Marathon and Relay presented by Runner Soul. Half marathon, 5K, and kids marathon also available. Run the Columbia River through all 3 Tri-Cities. Enjoy a fast, well-supported course with big water views. Not racing? Volunteer and help power the course. Grab your crew and make memories. Spots are limited, so claim yours now and let's run the river together.
Clear out clutter and help build homes right here in the Tri-Cities. Tri-County Partners Habitat for Humanity is hosting our Fill a Truck event at the Richland Habitat Store on March 13th and 14th from 11 to 4 p.m. Donate gently used furniture, appliances, building materials, home goods, and more. Every item sold at the Habitat Store helps fund affordable homes for local families, plus free French fries and local vendors at the event. Let's fill the truck. Your donations build homes.
What happened to Sarah Stern?
It's a complete shock. We didn't know what to think.
You just never know. You never know who your friends are.
Now, the stunning all-new 2020 true crime podcast, Bridge of Lies, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. It is indeed a first alert weather day because of the obvious all the snowfall, which is bad news for past travel. It's good news for the snowpack, and it's great news for our ski resorts, which I know are just giddy about this forecast. Right now, the base depth at 25 for Schweitzer. We take you down to Ski Bluewood, where the base depth for now is below 2 feet. And then for White Pass, we are sitting right at 40 inches. But here's the deal. Lots and lots and lots of fresh powder on the way for all of these resorts. You can see some of these resorts could pick up like multiple feet of snow just within a 24-hour time frame. So those base depths are going to go way up. There's going to be a lot of fresh powder. So very good news to those of you who want to hit the slopes. Okay, another report on our passes. Traction tires now required for Blewett Pass. We continue to keep a close eye on this. And then for the Blues, now that chain requirement has been lifted for Oregon 204 tollgate, but still traction tires advised. And we'll continue to keep you posted on that throughout the rest of this morning. Avalanche danger continues to be high for today. Still some forecast zones high for tomorrow. Mostly considerable for tomorrow, though. So just don't venture out into the backcountry if you don't have to. And those blizzard-like conditions continuing for the Cascades for today. So those gusts up around 50 miles per hour. You see here in the Tri-Cities around 45 miles per hour. It looks like they can ramp back up for Saturday as well. The fastest gust being in the Kittitas Valley, but in the Cascades still between 30 to 35 miles per hour. Probably not blizzard-like stuff, but still I personally wouldn't want to be over the passes. We'll have a lot more to say about our mountain passes coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Josh. 5:43. Talking sports now this morning as the girls wrestling was introduced as an official high school sport in Washington in 2007. Now this morning, Apple Valley News Now's Jake Gable highlights Toppenish High School and the record-breaking success that they achieved this season.
When Toppenish's girls wrestling team won their latest state championship, they became the first girls wrestling team in Washington history to win 5 straight state titles. The seniors on the team graduate having won a title every year of high school.
It's definitely a surreal feeling, you know. It's just great knowing that all of our hard work paid off as a team. You know, the late practices, staying, you know, the extra work that we put in, it all paid off.
No one from this year's team was even old enough to be in high school when this streak began. So what makes wrestlers from Toppenish different from the rest?
Have that chip on your shoulder you carry. You know, we're a small town. You know, a lot of us don't have the opportunities that a lot of people have in those bigger cities. You know, these kids come from nothing and they make everything out of something.
The titles are appreciated by the entire team, but being a part of the wrestling program is much more than just about winning. It's about having a family.
My biggest blessings in this life, I feel like, being on this team, it really is the people on this team and the environment. You never get this around anywhere. Like, I promise you, you will never get the Toppenish room anywhere else.
Several individual state champions will graduate this spring, leaving big shoes to fill for those returning.
I really want to step up a lot to help the girls, and I really want to go for my second title, so I think definitely I'm going to help raise it a lot, and I want the other girls to look up to me like how I looked up to everybody else.
While girls wrestling has only been an official sport for 2 decades in Washington, Toppenish has established themselves at the very top of the sport. In Toppenish, Jake Gable, Apple Valley News Now.
And now Toppenish has already made history with the current streak of 5 titles that they've won. But if they end up winning again next year, they will join just one other boys wrestling team to ever win 6 straight titles. Still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest, we have your morning sprint. Everything you need to know before you head out the door this morning. And giving you a live look outside, this one from our Legends Casino and Hotel Sky Camera at Richland's Columbia Point. When we come back, checking in with Josh, he'll have your full First Alert forecast.
Good Shepherd provides the most up-to-date orthopedic care available. Our board-certified surgeons and surgical podiatrists specialize in orthopedic care tailored to you. Services include precise joint replacement with Mako robotic surgery, sports medicine, all orthoscopic shoulder and knee repairs, fracture care, hand surgery, and foot and ankle care. We're here to help you maximize your body's performance and function. Good Shepherd Orthopedics in Hermiston. Patients first, always.
Here's your reminder about the Working Families Tax Credit, a refund of up to $1,330 back for all qualified workers in Washington, not just families. Get help at www.workingfamiliescredit.wa.gov.
These days, the world is moving faster than ever, but I like to say, not so fast when it comes to a progressive disease like chronic kidney disease. Jardiance is a little pill proven to slow the progression of CKD and reduce the risk of kidney failure, which can lead to dialysis.
Serious side effects include increased ketones in blood or urine and infection between and around the anus and genitals. Both may be fatal. Severe allergic reactions, dehydration, urinary tract or genital yeast infections in men and women, and low blood sugar. Stop taking and tell your doctor right away if you have nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, tiredness, rash, swelling, trouble breathing or swallowing. Tell your doctor about lightheadedness, weakness, fever, pain, tenderness, redness, or swelling between the anus and genitals. You may have increased risk for lower limb loss. Call your doctor right away if you have new pain or tenderness, sores, ulcers, or infection in your legs or feet.
Find the goodness of slow by saying, not so fast, CKD. Ask your doctor about Jardiance.
We are the Dillos. We are from Northern Kentucky. Being out in a rural area, coverage is pretty hit and miss with other carriers, so switching to T-Mobile solved a lot of problems that we had.
I'm able to use T-Satellite now. We've got coverage no matter where we're at.
America's best network meets off-the-grid satellite coverage with T-Satellite. And now switch to T-Mobile and get free phones for $0 down. Plus 4 lines for only $25 per month per line.
Better service, better price, win-win.
Lather, rinse, repeat. It never feels like enough. It's not your products, it's your water. Culligan water softeners prevent damaging hard water buildup, revitalizing your hair and skin. Upgrade your routine with Culligan.
Wendy Redmond, Austin Reed, Stacey Lee weather. Apple Valley News Now.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. It is indeed a First Alert weather day as those blizzard conditions are going to continue through today, and snow levels dropping right now because colder air ushering back in as this cold front is passing. You see all these low pressure centers dotting the map. These are just waves of energy that are going to continue to hit us all the way through Sunday morning. So we'll put the next 48 hours into motion with Futurecast satellite and radar, and you'll notice a consistent theme here for both mountain ranges. It's just pretty much going to be nonstop snowfall. Now, for lower elevations, it gets really interesting into tomorrow morning. Futurecast being very bullish on some of these snow chances for the Yakima Valley. I agree with what it's putting down for the Kittitas Valley. I'm thinking accumulation is probably going to be pretty limited in the Yakima Valley, though it's likely going to remain as just rainfall, maybe some flakes mixing in, but in general for tomorrow, just a wet, yucky day, a good day to stay indoors, and it does look as if we'll trend drier as we head into the weekend, much drier for lower elevations. Okay, here's some of the snowfall totals we're anticipating from this morning through 5 in the morning on Sunday. Just ridiculous snow still to come for our Cascade passes. You factor in the winds that we'll have up that way and definitely some whiteout stuff, at least for today. Then in the Kittitas Valley, we've rolled some of these totals back, still going with 2 inches for Ellensburg, though, still around a half a foot for Cle Elum. Honorable shout out to the Yakima Valley, not thinking we'll have much here. And then for the Blues, around a half a foot of snow for Cabbage Hill, much more than that for Oregon 204 at Tollgate. I wanted to touch on some of these rainfall totals as well. Very beneficial stuff that will pick up, especially for the Blue Foothills, between 1 to 2 inches. But look at Hermiston in the Tri-Cities, a half an inch to an inch. That would also be very beneficial in the long run. Okay, look at what happens to our high temperatures as we head into next week. About a 20-degree jump up for the Yakima Valley. 48 on Sunday, almost 68 by the time we get to Tuesday. That will coincide with another storm system. It's not going to bring much rain at all to lower elevations, but with the warmer temperatures, snow levels going up, we're thinking most of this is going to fall as rainfall in the Cascades. 2 inches on top of fresh snowpack. Could see some excess runoff, maybe some flooding, maybe some river flooding. It's very early in the game, but we're definitely keeping very close tabs on that. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Windy today, rain likely tomorrow, then eyeballing a big warm-up next week. In Yakima, some snow will be possible tomorrow, but temperatures will be a limiting factor for accumulations. In Ellensburg, maybe picking up a couple inches of snow through 5 p.m. on Friday. Maybe some more flakes flying for Sunday. It doesn't look like any of that's going to stick, though, but we'll keep a very close eye on that. For Hermiston, gust up to around 45 miles per hour today. Rain likely tomorrow, then mostly dry this weekend. And finally, for Walla Walla, maybe a little bit of snow mixing in for Saturday, but impactful accumulations are not expected.
Now, the morning sprint.
Josh, thank you. Time for your morning sprint at 5:51, starting with the top 5 local things that you need to know this morning. A Pasco man has been sentenced to 20 years in federal prison after pleading guilty to charges involving the sexual exploitation of minors. 29-year-old Manuel Rodriguez admitted to online enticement of a minor and attempted production of child pornography. Investigators say the case began in 2023 when a teen girl told a school counselor that Rodriguez had assaulted her and that she was pregnant. Authorities say Rodriguez also used Snapchat to contact other teens, asking for explicit photos and videos and attempting to meet with them in person. And Washington State Patrol Trooper Sarah Clayson now has a new timeline for her upcoming trial. A jury trial now currently scheduled for September, nearly 1 year after she was formally charged with suspected DUI vehicular homicide. Investigators say Clayson was off duty when the crash happened in Richland last March, involving a motorcycle rider who later died from his injuries. A hearing earlier this week had been postponed, according to court records. Clayson's omnibus hearing is now scheduled for August 12th, followed by a pretrial conference on September 10th, and the trial currently set now to start September 28th. And a debate is growing in Franklin County over who should manage the county's firearms training range. County commissioners are considering a proposal that would shift oversight of the facility from the sheriff's office to the Department of Corrections. Under the proposal, corrections would oversee scheduling, maintenance, and operations at the facility. Commissioners have postponed a vote for now and are expected to revisit the issue at an upcoming meeting. And a controversial new tax proposal has passed through the Washington State Legislature after extensive debate at the Capitol. Now, the measure would create a 9.9% tax on income households above $1 million a year. Lawmakers say the tax would affect only a small portion of high-earning households and could generate billions of dollars in revenue for the state. The bill now heads back to the Senate for final approval before it could move on to the governor's desk. Another bill passing by Washington state lawmakers, now drawing some pushback from sheriffs across the state. Law enforcement leaders urging Governor Ferguson to veto portions of a measure that would change how elected sheriffs can be removed from office. Under the proposal, a state certification process could potentially decertify a sheriff and declare the office vacant. Sheriffs raising concerns say that the change could shift authority away from voters and place it in the hands of a state board. The bill's already passed the legislature and now awaiting final action from the governor. Time is 5:54, and we're taking a look at your national headlines this morning as the Trump administration says it's reopening global entry at U.S. airports. Its fast-track immigration control program from pre-screen Americans and certain other travelers. The Department of Homeland Security says the partial government shutdown forced its closure. Now DHS is changing course as air travelers face headaches. Lawmakers can't agree on Homeland Security funding due to controversy over ICE. And in your business headlines this morning, inflation held steady last month, according to the latest consumer price index that was just released yesterday. It shows annual inflation unchanged in February at 2.4% on a monthly basis. Prices rose 0.3%, slightly faster than January's increase. Energy costs were a major driver. Prices in that category climbed 0.6%. Economists note that the data was collected before the U.S. and Israeli launched an attack on Iran. Those tensions have already pushed energy prices and gas costs higher, meaning the impact could show up more clearly in the months ahead. 5:55 in your health headlines. A new investigation found nearly 40% of non-organic fruits and vegetables grown in California contain traces of pesticides that are also forever chemicals. And to put that into perspective, California supplies nearly half of the vegetables and more than 3/4 of the fruits and nuts eaten in the U.S. Substances, also known as PFAS, are called forever chemicals because they can take years to decades, even centuries at times, to completely break down in the environment. Legacy forever chemicals have been linked to cancer, obesity, thyroid disease, high cholesterol, decreased fertility, liver damage, hormone disruption, and damage to the immune system. Newer ones also show worrisome impacts on human cells and animal reproductive and nervous systems. To avoid PFAS, pesticides, an expert says if you can't afford organic, thoroughly rinse produce under running water and use a brush on sturdier items. 5:56 trending this morning. Taco Bell is getting into skincare.
Did you ever think you were going to say that sentence?
Nothing surprises me anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it says it'll offer Mountain Dew Baja Blast under eye patches this year. The chain says they contain caffeine and citrus to provide cooling hydration.
Other ingredients and release dates are still unknown. I think I'm here for it. I'm not a Baja Blast kind of gal.
Oh.
I know. But I love Taco Bell. And caffeine and citrus, hydration, sounds great for the face.
The color of your dress is kind of like
it is a little Baja Blasty. Yeah.
Well, I'm a big Baja Blast believer. So I, in terms of all the Taco Bell skincare mix-ups, mash-ups, I think that was probably like the best option.
The safest.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want like a Crunchwrap Supreme face mask.
Or like a Doritos Loco Taco kind of like foundation sort of. No thanks. No thanks.
Well, can't you just wash your face with Baja Blast and call it a day? Just the old splash.
Yeah, someone should try that out and get back to us on how that goes.
I think you should.
Oh, no.
All right, coming up at our 6 o'clock hour here on Good Morning Northwest. Seattle Kraken made a big off-season signing. It's already paying off. This morning, we're going to see how defenseman Brandon Montour is rewriting the team's record books and how he's helping drive the Kraken forward. That's coming up in your player profile this morning. Also ahead, 4 new Lion Cubs making their debut this week in New York, and they're already stealing hearts. Born on Valentine's Day, the Cubs' names reflect their sweet start in life. And coming up at 6, we're going to show you when and where the public can get the first look at these adorable African lion cubs. And taking you live outside, overlooking the mighty Columbia. That one looks a little blurry this morning.
A little blurry, and it's, I think,
and windy. It's moving.
Yeah, probably the camera shaking has something to do with that. Lots of winds out there for this morning. Snow up in the Cascades, more blizzard conditions, and hey, maybe touching 70 degrees next week. So lots in the forecast to talk about. Coming up on Good Morning Northwest at 6.